Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102. This is the Game On Challenge with myself and Matt Collier-Smith. Now, it's been a while since I've been able to do a video, and I've got to be honest with you, me and Matt have hammered out some fucking insane sessions. You may recall from part one, it was like almost an 8-hour session. So subsequently, in the last week, we've hammered out so much that this part is a huge, rapid change. Now, you'll see... we're on the Russian Premier Division. I only did that because I didn't want to give any spoilers away. But I didn't even know I had the Russian League open. Why the fuck have I got the Russian League open is beyond me. I don't even remember, genuinely don't remember doing that. Nevertheless, you may recall then, Season 1 finished with me winning the title, Matt winning the FA Cup, both of us getting eliminated in the UEFA Cup. Sorry, let me start that again. Both of us getting eliminated in the League Cup semis. I got knocked out of the Champions League first phase, and Matt got knocked out of the UEFA Cup quarter-finals. Now, as you can see where we're up to the start of Season 4. We've actually already kicked in Season 4. Season 2 went like this. In fact, I'm going to show you Season 2 in a minute, because it was... Season 2 was absolutely crazy. It was crazy. Matt won the title. From me, with a game to spare. With a game to spare, that's important that you remember that. I won the FA Cup against Matt on penalties. I lost the League Cup against Man United, who retained the League Cup on penalties. And the Champions League was me and Matt, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So it was insane. It was insane. Now, Season 3, right, I moved. I left Liverpool. Having won what I needed to win, no spoilers, it was time for me to move, and Matt decided to have a third season with Leeds United. Now, Season 3 finished, and Matt convincingly won the title, retained the title with Leeds United, and he won the FA Cup as well. Season 4, I'm not going to tell you where I was Season 3, but I will tell you this. Season 4, I've moved on again. Are you ready for this? Because this is how much game time we have covered. Okay, so there's me. There is me. So there you can see, I moved to Paris Saint-Germain, where I won the title, and I left Paris Saint-Germain just nearly 3 months ago. Now, I built up quite a team at Paris Saint-Germain. We won the title at Paris Saint-Germain, and we got knocked out of the Champions League quarterfinals to Roma. But with the 3 Bosmans that were coming in, it was looking good. You know, I had the 3 Bosmans was Yakubu, Maido and Vieri. Now, just remember, our ruling is 7 transfers per calendar CM year. Any pre-arranged wouldn't count. Not that that affected me, but that was 3 quality players coming in. However, the option to go to Valencia, having completed France almost, let's say, you know, it was time for me to move on. Let's speak about Matt, if we can. So the short and long of it is, after 3 years for Matt at Leeds, Matt has now left Leeds and has joined Paris Saint-Germain. Now, the interesting thing here, right, is we did stipulate some rules, 7 transfers per season, and any pre-arranged deals would not count. And we stood by that. And we've both benefited from that, me and Matt. Now, I'll explain why. For me, I took over Valencia, as you can see, on the 31st of May, which meant in 15 days, the transfer window would open, or 16 days, in Spain. Now, until the update, which is normally the 19th or 20th, it meant if I get any players in them few days, they would count on this year's allocation. Does that make sense? So, in the first 2 weeks, even though the window was closed, I quickly arranged deals left, right and centre and got them over the line for when the window opened. So Matt moved to Paris Saint-Germain. Now, those 3 Bosmans that I was just talking about, obviously, didn't count as part of his 7. So, he has purchased 6 more additional players. Sigalko arrived, although he was hoping to have got Sigalko on the previous year, but it didn't quite work out. They're the players that I bought when I was at Paris Saint-Germain last season. So as you can see, I was building, I was building quite a fucking setup. So he brought Sigalko, Karagunas, Maido was already going, so he didn't count as part of his 7. Chotis, Vieri was already going, Yakubu was already going, he's brought in Mexes, Hoffland and Joe Cole. Fucking Joe Cole. So we both went for Joe Cole in January. Me at PSG and Matt at Leeds. Joe Cole was available on a Bosman. He didn't agree any of us. He opted to go to Real Madrid. It got to the whatever date, 16th, and he failed a medical. He's out for 3 months. So subsequently, we both went for him again. Paris Saint-Germain got him, and he failed a medical. Then he went for him again. He was out for 3 months, and he got him. I mean, he was always going to go to Paris Saint-Germain ahead of Valencia. So he's picked up Joe Cole, and he's still clearly got one more transfer. So he really has got a hell of a setup. That being said, start of season 4, Matt's first season in France, he has had an absolute woeful fucking time. He is well pissed off. He lost the equivalent to the Charity Shield against Le Havre, and you can see he's had a bit of a tough start. He asked me what my views were. I believe that the formation doesn't work in France, but it could be a number of things. I mean, I do think his defence was quite weak. That being said, he brought in Hofland and he had Yakubu. His Chiotis is a great goalkeeper, but I just don't think he cuts it on the big stage. You know, I don't play that sort of setup. He has got, of course, Danielson as well as options. He's got so many options. It's unreal. It really is unreal. He brought in Sigalko. He's already got Constantino and Vieri. Ronaldinho can theoretically just go up top. So that is where Matt is at. Now, for me, last season in France, we won the title. And I'll show you what we finished on, if I can. We finished convincingly 99 points, but it's ironic, really, because I had this conversation with my brother recently, and he was telling me about how France is such a weird league in respect of season 1. There's like less games. Season 2, it's more, which I didn't even realise that. And you can see that right there, 34 and 38. But the games, I mean, I was in the Champions League and I was in both domestic cups in France. And it was the games were just fucking insane. More so in the latter part of the season. It was game every other few days. It was ridiculous. The non-ECs, of course, you can only name 3 non-ECs in a domestic cup game. 5 non-ECs in the league, and unlimited in the Champions League. So, fortunately, I had a squad worthy of being able to squad rotate it, but it just came up short in those domestic cups, well, in all the cups, because, as I said, Roma knocked us out the Champions League. So, Matt has had a little bit of a woeful time. So, for me, Valencia, we've got 3 deals over the line for when the window opened, as you can see right there. We've got William Leonardson, and that was, I forget who it was that gave me that player as an option to go for. Somebody on one of the streams. We'll see how he flares up, because I've not actually started my season yet. This was a marquee signing. JT arrived for a combined £21 million, £16 million, and then a further £5 million when he's made 10 appearances. John Terry, solid player. Barry Ferguson, for me, he's an assist machine. We paid 14 million or 9 million and a further 5 million pounds. That wiped out my budget. Now, the truth be told, right, I actually had 2 other players come in, but they got cancelled because I just fucked up my budget. And one of those was Sigalko. In fact, I think it was 3 players. One of those was Sigalko. So this season, I brought in this guy. You all know that guy, don't you? Peter Ofori Quahari, and he was coming on last season's quota, but it got cancelled. Bargain. I bought him at Liverpool on a Bosman, or I got him set up at Liverpool at Bosman. Never actually managed him, and he has arrived. We have brought in the money isn't great because I spent a lot of it last season. I think it was some good deals. You're now questioning. You're now saying, yeah, what the fuck, Victory and Duff. Look, they are the cheapest, best fullbacks in the world, all right? And I've got no more money. Well, actually, that being said, I started to make money for some reason, and I still had one more transfer, so I brought in Brett Emerton. But it was really about squad depth. It really was. So and obviously with Valencia, they already have some quality players. Carew, Amar. No, I'm not saying McManaman. Who was the other one now? It was Fabio Aurelio. I think he's a solid player in this version. You know, they've got some real good players. So I'm ready for the new season. That is my setup. I am more than ready. And I think money-wise, I seem to be really making money somehow. I'm not sure how, but it built me up to have one more transfer. So I can't make any more transfers now until after the update next season, whilst I'm at Valencia. If I was to move, let's hypothetically say, to Barcelona, I would get 7 fresh transfers, and it wouldn't include Jaap Stam. And the same applies with Matt at PSG, although he has still technically got one more transfer. So let me just show you then. Let me show you if I'm not even going to be able to get to the game, am I? Because I think I only have so many matches stored. But in fact, I know I'm not going to be able to. So that was season 1. We went through that. Season 2. Oh, I can get to it. So I thought I beat him on penalties, actually. So I won the Champions League with Leeds. This was why I left, because I convincingly won the Champions League against Matt. Matt was well pissed off, to be fair, and rightly so. But do you know what? We did it. And Matt won the league title that season. But for me personally, at Liverpool, we won the FA Cup against Matt on penalties. 6-5, deservedly so. We lost the League Cup final against Man United on penalties, a little bit gutted about that, and we can run us up in the league that season. So it was a fine end to the season. You can see we had a bit of a bad run there. We lost to Arsenal, we lost at home to Chelsea, and that's what ultimately cost us. So, you know, it was time to move on. For Leeds United then, we said that season 1, they won the FA Cup, they beat Fulham in the final. Season 2, having lost the Champions League, they lost the FA Cup final. And they won the title. So it was a good recovery, I think, so to speak. And in season 3, of course, they lost the Champions League final to AC Milan. Again, Matt was really fucked off. And he said to me, he goes, what would you do? Would you stay? Would you go? And if the truth be told, I was honest. Because I moved to Valencia, I said, personally, I would move to PSG if the job came up, because knowing that those 3 transfers wouldn't count as part of his 7, he could build an absolute amazing setup. I don't genuinely think he needed Sigalko. I think he should have used that place and the money for yet another defender. I think Hoffland's a great signing, but I think his defence is quite weak. Or another goalkeeper. You see, he brought Chiotis, and he already had Costanzo. I think, Matt, I don't know. Let me know your views on that, guys. But yeah, so he was gutted. He did reclaim the FA Cup with a victory over the old foe, Liverpool, and now this is where we're at. We are at now season 4. So we're in season 4. So I'm not in the Champions League this season. So Valencia sacked their manager at the end of the season, having finished 5th. Now I had to be very, very careful here because they'd already concluded it. And when I took over, what was it, late May, they tell me the expectation, don't they? Now I was thinking, shit, if they say we're expecting an assault on the Championship, the season's now going to technically end. And I'm going to finish 5th, so it could go against me. But nevertheless, it said European qualification, which we had, of course. You know, so you know, I think roughly, I'd say we're going to be here for 2 seasons. You know, I mean, Matt asked me my objective. My objective this season for Valencia is definitely a Champions League spot, so top 4, and good cup run, whether that be in the Spanish Cup or the UEFA Cup. You probably think I've got a better chance than the UEFA Cup. I would, in my opinion, for Matt needs to win that French title, and he needs to have a good run in the Champions League. He definitely needs to have a good run in the Champions League. Anything less, personally, is not acceptable. Now, we had a session yesterday, yet another marathon session, and he messaged me afterwards. He was quite pissed off. Now, I get it. We all get it, don't we? We all sort of, like, you lose a little bit of interest, but I think that's what makes, particularly on network games, you can't rage quit. You cannot rage quit network games. It is quite exciting. For me, you could say, why did I leave Paris Saint-Germain? Why didn't I see out a second year and make an assault on the Champions League? Well, do you know what? I just want to go around Europe. I want to go around Europe. Now, before I go any further, let me just have a look at the selected leagues, because I genuinely don't remember. I genuinely don't remember putting Russia on. Do you know what I think I did? I put Russia on, haven't I? But clearly I meant to put fucking Scotland. That's what's happened, isn't it? Okay, yeah, it looks like that's what's happened. And I forgot that I actually put in Argentina and Brazil for more background. So you know, we're at the start of season 4, and it is quite exciting in the sense of, I mean, to be honest with you, fucking hell, Matt, to be fair to him, he plays more fucking CM than I do, you know. I've played so much CM, and I've neglected my own 7-Up challenge in order to fire through this. I'll probably play a little bit more 7-Up this week because I'm on late. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this game on part 2, because I sure as hell am enjoying it. Last season, I was very deflated with PSG, and the reason I was so deflated with PSG was because let me show you. It was just, like I said, it was just, you can see it was just game after game. It was fucking insane. The French Cup, the French League Cup, the Champions League. The Champions League was unreal. We had to draw at AC Milan on the last group game of Phase 2. A draw would have qualified us, and we won it very, very convincingly. Now, funnily enough, we had a terrible start to Champions League Phase 2 because we lost our first 2 games against Sporting and then Milan, and things were looking, excuse me, they were looking pretty fucking bleak. But yeah, we had a real tough couple of games against Roma, as you can see, 2-0, and then lost at home 3-0. But hey ho. Let's have a look at the manager stats then. So that's me in Spain. I'm not sure how they give me a Spanish reputation, but that is me. France, Matt is at the top, of course he is, and all nations, Matt, well, we're both world class now. We are both world class. Let's have a look at points if they can give us it. Matt leading the way on points. Rightly so, that's because he got to the Champions League final. Whereas, mind you, I'm not too far behind really, because yeah. So he won the FA Cup as well, didn't he? So, and Milan, of course, got to the Champions League final as well. Let me just have a look at who's the current. Yeah, Real Madrid won the current title. So this is where we're at then. So let's have a look at Valencia. What's their past couple of seasons? Yeah, so 6th, 5th, 5th. Okay, that's fine. Gives me a good benchmark. That 5th, it has to be in the top 4. No doubt about that. Has to be in the top 4. Let's just have a look at... yeah, so 4 Champions League spots. So this is what I'm intrigued about, yeah. Germany says 3. So I have to keep an eye on that. So, yeah, 4 Champions League, 3 UEFA, but it's got to be Champions League. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this game on. Anything you want to know, anything you want to add, share it with us. Pop your comments in the box down below. Till next time from me, guys. Take it easy.